Today, I am going to talk about one thing I regret not doing in middle school and high school. Hi, my name is Shelomo Solson. I'm a teen motivational speaker. I'm the author of the teen mental health book, Never Fight Alone, and host of the podcast, Teenage Impact, which is listened in over 30 countries and where I have interviewed nearly 80 people from around the world. My entire mission with my podcast, with my books, with my motivational speeches is to inspire you to overcome the challenges you are facing, build resiliency, and create your own definition of success. I've been on several podcasts lately, and a lot of people ask me, Shlomo, what is one thing that you would do differently if you were a teenager? First of all, I don't regret anything I did as a teenager because I strongly believe that all the experiences that we're facing, everything we have done, everything we haven't done, leads us to the person we are today. So the answer to that question is I wouldn't do anything differently. But if I had to answer that question and I had to give one thing I would do differently, is this: I would experiment with different activities. I would start with different businesses. I would try different sports to see what I like and what I don't like. I would join different clubs. I would start a YouTube channel. I would start a podcast. I would write a book. I would start speaking early on. I would try so many different activities to see what I'm good at, to see what I have potential to be good at, and to see what I like. Since I was a little boy, when I was in middle school, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I remember doing this homework, and the teacher asked me what I want to be when I grow up. And so I Googled, what do I want to do when I grow up? And different things came up. And I saw the word entrepreneur. I didn't know what entrepreneur meant back then. So I looked it up. What is entrepreneur? An entrepreneur means to own your own business. But for me, it meant having control of my life with money, with times, being able to control my destiny. And that's what I wanted to do. But later on in life, I kind of buried that dream because I did what everyone expected me to do: work hard, get good grades, which I got in middle school and high school. I was always a straight A student, I was always an honor roll student. Go to college, where I kind of lost myself because I was trying to do the things that everyone expected me to do. I was trying to work hard to get good grades, but I wasn't getting good grades. I was trying to get internships and I wasn't getting internships. I was going to class aimlessly, not knowing what I wanted to do with my life. I lost control of who I was trying to become. And I got so involved with partying, I got so involved with my fraternity, which I don't regret because being involved with my fraternity helped me become the leader and communicator I am today. But my grades fell. At 22 years old, the summer before my fifth year in college, my sister hands me a book. It's called Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And in this book, he talks about finding your purpose in life. And I didn't find my purpose, I unleashed my purpose. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always knew I wanted to inspire people. But too bad, I went through 4 years in college, 4 years in high school, 3 years in middle school, trying to please other people. The internet was always accessible to me. I mean, people didn't use it like they do now with social media and with the learning. But what I would have done back then, if I had access to LinkedIn, if I had access to online books, if I had access to YouTube to learn, if I had access to all these different social media platforms, what I would do differently is, number one, list out everything that I want to try, everything that I'm curious about. I would list it out. And then I would cross off things in my list that are not really that important. I just put on my list. And I would just have top three things that I'm curious about. And then I'll tackle number one. So if I wanted to write a book on a particular subject, I would, okay, first thing I'm going to do is write a book. Let me write popular books or how to write a book. I would research how to write a book. And I would do as much research for a month on how to write a book. And then I would brainstorm different topics on what to write about. And then I would contact 100 reputable authors that wrote a successful book. And then I would ask them for their advice on what they would do. Then I would make a game plan and a timeline on what to do in order to write a book. Then I would start writing the book right away without thinking about it, stay disciplined, and release it out to the market and market the book for about 6 months and see where it goes. That's 1 year in high school. Look, even if your book flops completely and no one buys your book except maybe your family members and friends, you have learned lessons from writing the book to marketing the book to networking with different authors. And then for your next venture, you're that much smarter. Now, maybe the second thing on your list is possibly, I don't know, start a podcast. So, same procedure. Take the lessons you have learned, reach out to other podcasters who are successful, start reading on how to make a podcast, and then create a game plan and then start creating episodes. Start marketing depending on the lessons that you have learned. And maybe that thing becomes a flop again. Then you continue to your third venture. You see where I'm going with this? 4 years in high school, if you can fail 4 or 5 times with 4 or 5 different ventures, when you go to college, now you're that much more ahead. People look at Mark Zuckerberg. People look at Evan Spiegel, Snapchat founder. People look at all these successful entrepreneurs who have made it in their 20s. But what they don't look at is them starting a business at 10, 11 years old and failing for 10 years before they had their successful venture. And I used to put all this pressure on myself to become a millionaire in my 20s. When I started in my 20s, I have failed for the past 7 years. And right now, as Teenage Impact is taking off, right now, as I'm getting paid speaking engagements finally, as people are buying my book consistently on a weekly basis, I remember all the things that I have tried in my early 20s, in my mid 20s, and now all the way I'm about to turn 30 years old in 6 months. I remember all the lessons that I've learned, and sometimes I just wish that I would have started 15 years ago. Just imagine if you start right now, not caring what other people think of you, not caring whether you will succeed and fail. I want you to step outside this little box called your comfort zone. Step outside your comfort zone to become successful. Because once you do that, you start learning the things that you never would have learned before. You start accomplishing the things that you never imagined you can accomplish before. And even if you fall short, you're going to fall short and still move forward. So best of luck. Experiment with as many things as possible, and one day you will become successful in whatever venture or whatever field that you go into. If you haven't done so already, go check out my new book, Never Fight Alone. It's a teen mental health book. It's a compilation of 51 inspiring interviews for you to improve your life and for you to improve your mental health. Follow me on Instagram, where you're going to see a personal side of me, where you get to see 1 minute motivational tips. If you need motivational, if you need practical, short advice, go follow me on Instagram, Shelomo Solson. And until next time, peace.